Good evening, everybody. And look how clear we are now. What's going on, guys? Looks pretty clear. We'll have the moon probably for another 2 hours, maybe, before it sets. Right around there. So we should be good.
Evening,
Whoa, echo.
everybody.
Always remember to mute the YouTube stream. Well, if you're the one speaking. So yeah, we should be good. Hope everybody has their soundtrack picked out that they want to listen to. Once again, I'll be popping in and out on the mic throughout the night. I'll try not to scare anybody on purpose, but I can't guarantee anything. Holy, and this figures, once the stream starts, my phone starts going off like crazy. Alright, that's Paul. Alright, so yeah, welcome everybody. I'll be back, give some shout outs and stuff in a couple minutes. Be right back. Alright, Paul just texted me and said it is crystal clear down there. We are good for go. We'll see how long we can get a stream out tonight. It's crazy because it's Friday night, so if the moon was a little further back, a little higher in the sky, we'd have 3 or 4 hours to just sit and chill when it's in the prime zone, but that's what tomorrow night's for. So, we'll be doing it tomorrow night again. Let's hope for just the same weather as we got tonight. Hopefully, and then we'll get a long broadcast out of it. The good nights are probably going to be Monday and Tuesday and probably Wednesday, and that's when the moon is going to be at the very peak, right above them down there in Florida with the telescope, and that's when you get the clearest views. And we'll get them early. We'll get them around 8 o'clock, right in that general time frame. So it'll be early, it'll be clear, hopefully weather permitting, and it's just going to be awesome. But we'll get a couple long ones like tonight and tomorrow night. We'll get some time on the moon here, and then of course it's going to start getting more and more visible, and then we'll have Aristarchus start coming in and our lovely crater with the driveway, as we like to call it, appearing. We did catch that UFO again last night. If nobody saw the video, it's up on the page. I kind of just cropped it out and threw a couple filters on it. It's the third time, and I matched it up with the other 2 times that we caught it, and yes, it's the same thing. So I don't know if it's the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter or if it's an Earth satellite. It could be either or. You got me. I'll probably have to want to send it over to Astronomy Live and see if he can set up those coordinates and find out if anything was crossing the moon at that point in time. So yeah, everybody kick back, relax, find yourself a soundtrack, and enjoy. Once again, I'll be popping on intermittently throughout the stream here. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. Moderators can mostly answer them. I'll try to answer as many as I can. And glad to have you guys. Thanks. Oh yeah, for anybody in the chat as well, I'll tell you now, just in case anybody comes in asking or saying it's fake because it doesn't line up lights, Paul sometimes turns the camera to bring the lit side of the moon to the top. So if anybody asks, well, this is fake because it's not a full moon or whatever, just whoever's in here, just let them know that the camera does get turned so we can bring the lit side horizontal to the frame. All right. This is not the correct orientation that you are looking at right now. But he usually does put correct view on the screen when he does set it up to the correct view of what it looks like when you look at it with your eye. Just throwing it out there. Alrighty. for anybody that wants to know, this setting that I'm using, that you see on the screen right now, is called a contortion setting. And basically what it is, it's a really high contrast visual setting that actually takes the gamma light and the gamma spectrum and takes it way down. So it really makes like craters and mountain peaks and stuff really pop. So you'll see me using it off and on. Tonight's pretty much a perfect night to do it. There I am again. Keep forgetting to mute the video. Anyway, so yeah, it's a contortion setting. It actually makes stuff pop really good. So just an FYI. What is up, Moon people? See some people starting to drop into the chat. What we got here? Oh yeah, you know what? Evil Fred. Now that you mention that, John Leonard Walson is actually going to be a guest here on the on one of our live Moon streams. We've been trying to schedule it. We're hoping that we might try to do it for and there it goes again. Ladies and gentlemen, third time's a charm. I leave the freaking audio up. Anyway, John Leonard Walton, we're aiming for around Christmas time, where we'll hopefully have him here and Gary McKinnon as well. Have a message off to him. So if I can get those two on at the same time, number one, because John Walton is actually capturing craft and stuff like that, and McKinnon, had all that problem with the with hacking NASA and everything like that, where he found a lot of information, and the United States was trying to get him sent back to the U.S. to face charges and all that. So hopefully we'll have both of them, and I'm trying to make it for a Christmas Moon stream right around Christmas time, the end of December. So we got that to look forward to. Let's see. All right, who all we got in the chat here? We got Sunbird and Damien and Earthsound and Evil Fred and Harry Moosehagian. Moosehagian? Is that right? Hillar, Jenny, of course, Loons, Mr. Johnny 5, Nick Yaya, Oscar Alban, Pankaj Ravidas. Man, I hope I'm saying that right. I probably totally screwed that up. And Vanessa Sevilla. So welcome to the chat, guys. Everyone get to know everyone else. And once again, just keep it clean. And we're all good. And I believe he is switching scopes currently. Yeah, I think he's going to go to the wide field for a couple minutes, see if we can catch some more flybys. Guys, the atomic clock, for anybody that doesn't know, is up at the top of the screen. If you happen to see anything cross the moon phase, or you see something that just isn't right, and you think you see something, doesn't even have to be confirmed, go ahead and drop a timestamp in the chat box. And that way, and what I do then is I write all that down and I make sure to check it out tomorrow up close on that timestamp. You're not using the video timestamp, you're using the atomic clock timestamp up at the top where it's green. All right. So, yeah, this is the by far the wide field view is the view that we get a lot of stuff crossing by. A lot of times it's birds, sometimes it's satellites, other times it's weird saucer shaped stuff. So, wink, wink. So, yeah. So if you see anything, timestamp it with the atomic clock on the top, post it in the chat, and I'll make sure to write it down and check it out closer tomorrow. All right. And I'll be right back. And once again, you'll see on the screen that Paul has put the correct view up. And every time he does that, he will write it on the screen for you. And you'll actually see that come up in your feed in a couple seconds. So, yeah, what you're looking at is the correct view. starting to get a little more distortion with it lowering in the sky. Getting a little more wavy. Alright, I think I jumped back on here and fingers got tired from typing. Well, seemed like we got a bump in people watching. What is up to everybody in the chat? Good conversation tonight. I hope I'm not coming off as ignorant. Is this stream fake? No, this stream is not fake. You are looking at the live view of the moon from Miami, Florida through a telescope. It is not correct. It's not in the right orientation because Paul has the camera turned to make the lit part on the top. Makes it easier for us. Who all do we got in the chat now? Let's see. Let's take a peek, shall we? We got Skirk and Arby and Selt Thrash and Chrome and D's in the house and Earth Sound. Gray. Jenny's in there. John Crawford. Jonathan Miller. Mike Smith. Miss Justina? I guess that's what that is. And Nick and Pankaj. He told me to call him something, but I don't remember what it was. And of course, Rockstar. Good mod right there. Roger and Shane. And of course, we got the Toy Man himself. T-Toys and UFOs. If you guys haven't, check out his site. He's got some nice stuff. He does a lot of like toys with LEDs and stuff. It's really neat. So check that out. But yeah, John Leonard Walson. I was saying this earlier. I don't know if how many of you were around, but I'm trying to get him and Gary McKinnon on the same night to come on and do a moon stream with us. So hopefully we'll get some interviews because they're kind of relative to the same kind of thing that John was catching on his with his telescope and everything. And everybody knows the Gary McKinnon story. If you don't, look it up. He's a hacker from the UK that got into NASA files and found the non-terrestrial officers list. So all this is supposedly related around the Project Star Wars thing under Reagan, and both of them are capturing it. John Leonard Walton has a bunch of emails from MIT professors telling him that that's what he's seeing, what he's catching. So we're going to try to get him on. I'll probably have Bill do the actual interview part of it because I want to concentrate on the imaging and everything. And Bill said he was up for it, so we just have to lock down a date where they're both, because it's a whole, I believe they're both from the UK, so we'd have to get them because it would be a late night for them if we were doing it on the East Coast. So, what other questions did we get? The guy, Chris over at Take Back Space. I think he's just taking a break. I don't know exactly what's up and what he's doing. I know he's been working on music a lot lately, so I'm not really sure. Somebody said something about a stalker or something like that, so I don't know how much truth there is in that, but yeah, RB, he already, I mean, I've been friends with John for a long time. He has already explained it to me. We don't really want to go that route because it's kind of hard to, we wouldn't be able to do the streams that we do if we had his setup going. And even when he tries it, he only gets about, 45 minutes to 50 minutes out of it, so but yeah, he has posted all his information of what he uses actually in my comment section on some of my videos because people were asking him, and he actually posted all the information there. So it's in some of the videos somewhere if you want to see how he actually does that. Turned out to be a gorgeous night, huh? Stayed clear, no clouds. Nice night. And I see everybody's keeping it real cordial in the chat, so that's awesome. Just got to remember here, man, we're all friends here, guys. And I'm hoping, a lot of my regular watchers and subscribers pretty much know the ins and outs of how we do the streams and stuff. So they're available to answer questions for you, just as well as I am. I might not see something you post because I'm looking at the feed. And trying to adjust it, the optics and whatnot. But Rockstar Jenny, Heidi's when she's in here, Jello when he's in here, he'll probably be back, I'm guessing. Bill, Take Back Space, all those guys. When they're in the chat, they can answer stuff just as well, if not better than I can. So don't be afraid to get answers from them. Because if you ask a question in the chat, I might not be the one answering. It might be one of them. So just look for the little wrench beside their name. Oh, can we zoom? Yes, we can zoom a lot more. And that's where I'm going to say Monday and Tuesday are going to be. See, the thing is, when the moon is either coming up in the horizon or going down in the horizon, the distortion gets real bad. What we need, and anybody that has a telescope, if you know this or not, the best time to view the moon is when it's straight up. When you walk outside and the moon is directly above you. That is the least amount of air resistance. That's where you won't hardly get any shimmering effect, the atmospheric distortions. It's the thinnest part between you and the moon. You'll get the best imaging. That's going to happen come Monday, Tuesday night around 8 p.m. when we actually start the moon stream. So it's going to be, once again, and if you go back to the one in October, I think it's October 14th, 15th stream, we were super, super tight into that one crater, the one we dubbed the driveway crater, because it looked like it had a driveway going towards the middle. We were in there really close because we hardly had any distortion and the moon was directly above. And you can vary it 10 to 15 degrees on either side. So if Paul starts with it on the 15-degree side of rising, we can go all the way on to the 15-degree side of going over the horizon. We'll have about 4 hours of peak viewing time where we can really zoom those craters. And Paul is just amazing. I mean, amazing at what he gets into when on these clear nights. But he's a professional. He knows what kind of conditions he has down there, and he knows what's best, to be looking at and what telescope to use, depending on the conditions. Even if it's clear like this, if there's a lot of high clouds, if there's a lot of distortion, he'll do a lot more wide field than zooming. Because if you try to zoom with this, with a lot of distortion going on, it really looks shitty. So that's why you can see now, when we started the stream, we were zooming pretty good, and now he's more on the wide field angle because it's just getting worse and worse. And you can see that just from looking at the edge of the moon up there. It's really shimmering and shaking. So let's see, 152. There's a lot of people in here tonight. I guess we're not the only ones don't have nothing to do on a Friday night, huh? Let's see. Once again, the moon looks different tonight than it does in Michigan. Once again, we have the camera turned, so we have the lit part on the top of the moon, not the correct orientation. That's why it looks different. Why did NASA name Apollo for Satan? Does anybody read the Bible? Nope. Next question. Is Monday really? That's what I'm guessing, Walrus, is Monday, Tuesday is when it's going to be at its peak when we actually start the stream. It's going to be directly above him. That's our guess. We'll still have a good stream tonight. We'll have a real good one tomorrow as well, being that the weather plays along. But Monday and Tuesday is what's looking like it's going to be the peak nights for zooming. Okay. Some Neil Armstrong quotes, I guess. Who knows? It's really cold in the Northeast right now. The temperature's going down, I think, to lower 30s tonight, which will be a first of for the season anyway for us this year. But optimal telescope weather in the Northeast tonight. So if you happen to have a telescope that you haven't used in a while, now tonight and tomorrow night will be a really good time to get out with it. Salt Thrash, why can't we see stars? Because the exposure is set for the moon, not for the stars. If he would back out and adjust the exposure, you'd see him twinkling there just like you would anything else. It's a bunch of nerdy camera stuff. Jolly Rancher's girlfriend fell asleep. Wait, she fell asleep on the phone with you? Like she's on the other end sleeping and you're just, listening to her snore as you watch the moon? That's kind of creepy. But hey, man, more power to you. Once again, you get a good view of the moon. Do you ever bring people with you online? Yes, we're going to be starting that soon. The problem with that is I would kind of like to do it the way Bill does it, but I can't do it because I'm constantly looking at the feed and adjusting the feed and the optics for it, or I can't give my full attention to like Skype or, so I need somebody else that can carry the conversation, and that's where Bill's going to come in. And he said he'd be up for it. Now, obviously, we wouldn't do it all the time, but we're going to try that. And once again, with the McKinnon and John Leonard Walton coming on, I definitely need Bill because Bill is really good at what he does. So I don't think he'll have any problems keeping that conversation going on and getting a lot of information and some interesting conversation out of the deal. Lee Nettleson, can you show where the lander's set down, please? No, you cannot see any of those places with an Earth-based telescope, no matter how big it is. You can go to the VLT down in Hawaii and you still wouldn't be able to see it. Jenny, think about me next time. Oh, really? Oh, my. I think you might be referring to the Skype chat. You probably are referring to the Skype chat. And yes, you are on the top of my list. Jason, are you trying to give us a lesson on something, or I'm not trying to sound ignorant or anything, but do you have a point? Are you just quoting things that sound fishy to you about what astronauts have said? I'm not really understanding. How are you adjusting the direction of the camera? No. This is what you call a tracking mount, and it is done by computer. Paul uses a tracking mount, very minute fractions of a millimeter, because of how zoomed he is. It moves the scope. That's why mounts are so expensive, especially tracking ones. Just the minute movements that it makes, and is able to track the moon through the sky. And he's got a really good one. If you notice, sometimes he lines up on the moon, hits it, and he can just leave it alone, and it'll track it completely through the sky, and it doesn't look like the moon moves an inch. But it's been moving that whole time, and just the scope stays with it. Awesome technology. Astronomy Live. I have no idea what Paul is. He got it. Which actually, I want you to look at that UFO from earlier, Scott. And no, not Scott. I think your name's Scott. Is it? I don't remember. Anyway, look at that UFO from last night that we caught. There's a timestamp. You know what? I put the timestamp on after we caught that thing. I looked. I didn't see any satellites that it could have been. But then again, I don't have any kind of a tracking on the LRO or anything like that it might have been that. But I would love for you to take a look at that. And I was going to send it over to Dave as well. But I figured if I got you here, why not just send it to the man himself? But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked out Astronomy Live's channel, definitely do. If you want the scientific aspect of space, moon viewing, and I have talked about this, your tracking software that you were working on, where you were able to track stuff through the sky, not just planets and whatnot, but actual objects like the ISS, and just amazing stuff. So definitely you want to hop over and subscribe to Astronomy Live, because if you want the back end on stuff and you want stuff validated, just an awesome channel. But yeah, if you could check out that UFO from last night, I can pretty much lock down an actual time, because I think I put the atomic clock up after it actually passed. But I can get you an actual time if you want, and I can get you the schematics from Paul on the scope, and if you need any of that information too. So, yeah, definitely let me know. And maybe I'll actually have, maybe I might try to get Astronomy Live on here one of these nights too. It'd be nice to have a scientific mind for this, because I am not scientific at all. I know the basic in and outs, but this guy knows his stuff. And the best the best thing I like about your channel is you debunking all these Nibiru channels. It's the best, with real actual science. But yeah, just let me know, and get Dave to give you my info on Facebook. Then you can get a hold of me on there as well. Anyway. Yeah, I definitely will. I'll make sure you get it. All right. So yeah, we got the wide field now. Once again, as the moon gets lower in the sky, it just distortion, more atmospheric distortion gets on. It's harder to be zooming in. So I'm not sure how much more zoom in he'll be doing. Probably pretty much going to be a lot or a wide field for a good amount of time. I just thought about something too. Wouldn't it be awesome to get a dual stream, a moon stream? Astronomy Live could line that up too. We were going to do it with Chris from Take Back Space, but he kind of just disappeared. I guess we do have the option of doing one with Chris Parker as well. That'd be kind of neat. What we need to do is get Daz the stream from New Zealand, and then we'll have a nice little 16-hour moon viewing. Mike L. No, he has debunked all the Nibiru channels now that insist that the world's going to end. All the Chicken Little channels, basically, that come out and just say the world's going to end, and Nibiru's running through our solar system and all that. And what Astronomy Live does is actually go in there and prove that what they're seeing on, like, say, the SRO images and stuff is not Nibiru, and he actually proves what they are. As I said, really good scientific stuff. It's awesome. I mean, you can go check out his channel, if you want to. It's great. I mean, I've been subscribed there for a long while already. It's great just to know that there's somebody out there. Like, I couldn't do what Astronomy Live does. Like, he knows the scientific, background of everything, where my brain won't allow me to calculate all that. I'm just an imaging and optics guy. So, but it's definitely really good channel if you want the whole Nibiru thing, like, not more the ancient side of it, but more of the, today, where people are trying, anything for views and saying Nibiru's, now Jupiter, or, they see a lens flare and they insist it's Nibiru, or, it's that kind of stuff. Really good channel, though. Loose Screws, all the information is down in the description. It tells you his telescopes and everything. Planet Mars is hard to get from Florida, especially Planet Mars is hard because it's a smaller planet, and no matter how good you get it always looks blurry. But Jupiter and Saturn coming up over the wintertime, we have gotten them, and we will continue to get them really, really good over the wintertime. And once again, we might go over to them in the coming days. Not Jupiter or Saturn, because I believe they're on the other side of the planet from us currently, from our cycles. All right, let me take care of this real quick. All right, yeah, I'll be right back. once again, I'll make this point just so everybody gets it. What you're looking at, the moon, is not in the right orientation. We actually have the camera turned. Paul likes to turn the camera so the lit side of the moon is actually on top instead of, because we get more viewing area that way. It is not in the right orientation. If you were to flip it around to the right orientation, the lit part would be on the right hand side. You know, so that's why it doesn't look the same as it would if you were to walk outside and look up at it. Lua, we get about 2 weeks a month where we can do this now. Florida weather is really, you can't predict it. But usually in a month, we usually get about 7 to 8 good streams from the time the moon starts coming up at night to the time it's getting a little late for it to be up. And with a nice concentration of 4 or 5 days, like right in between there, where we can get some really good nights. So yeah, you can expect probably 8 to 10 a month of live streams like this, being the weather cooperates. I got to thinking about that UFO from last night. I wonder if it's not. Wasn't there something in the news a couple weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago, about a Chinese space station spinning out of control somewhere up there, and nobody knew where it was? I wonder if we've been catching this crazy out of control Chinese space station. You got to figure, how do they lose where that is? It just amazes me. I mean, somebody has to know where it is. But then again, I haven't heard since. I don't know if they found it or what, but I know it's due to crash back into the atmosphere sometime, maybe in the next year or so. You never know. It might be it. It might be it. And then once again, it might have been the LRO. It might have been some classified satellite. We have no idea. But it was interesting, and it looked exactly the same as the other two times that we caught it, that same object. And the last time we caught it with Paul in Miami, and then Chris caught it in Tampa 20 minutes later. But, yeah, that's what I mean. It says they know where it is. Okay, good. Oh, so they just don't have the actual control over the thing, like to maneuver it and stuff. Okay. I thought that, like, the way I saw the article, it looked like they were it was just totally out there floating in space and nobody knew where the hell it was. That'd be cool. Would we be able to see if a meteor hit the surface? Depends how big of a meteor. Most likely, no. If it's like the normal meteors that we get here, a meteor hitting the surface of the moon would be our holy grail. That would be, I mean, that's something even NASA hasn't caught very often. I think they might have caught it once or twice. But that would be awesome. Like to see a good meteor impact on a live stream. That would be awesome. I know there was a meteor that was supposedly caught a couple years ago by a DSW, but it turned out to be fake. I believe so. Um, yeah, I think that's the one that's on all over YouTube. Yeah, I'll answer that question. Wouldn't streaming the moon make more sense when it's full? Uh, the full moon is when we least like to live stream because there's hardly any contrast at all. It's just a straight on beam. It's just everything gets whitewashed with lights. It's just it's a bad time if you want to image the moon. If you want to, if you're looking for something in particular, yeah, the whole face of the moon is lit up. That's great, but for us personally, we don't like full moon and doing live streams during it because there's no contrast. There's nothing really to see. Everything, there's no divergence between the craters and mountains, and just a sense of depth isn't there. So we like it better when we're going through the phases instead of full. And we just caught the tip of a plane coming up. I'm going to say about 15, 20 seconds. You'll see it on the bottom of the moon. You'll see the plane wing go by. That's actually pretty cool. Just barely caught it. It just went across the bottom. Yeah, that was pretty neat. Watch out. You know what that means? A plane just went past. Here comes the ever evasive lunar wave everybody talks about. Oh my. Keep watching. It'll be coming soon. Ah, never mind. It was just plain exhaust. We all know that already. I tell you what, Dark Star, go outside, look up at the moon, and put your thumb over it, the tip of your thumb, because the tip of your thumb can cover the moon. And then you go ahead and tell me how many satellites pass behind the tip of your thumb over the next 2 hours. And then you can tell me something about satellites, crossing in front of the moon. You got to remember that we're zoomed in, making this moon look huge. It's not very big at all. Yeah, dark. I don't think. I think you're fighting a losing battle here, bud. You know, because Astronomy Live is the type of person that'll just come at you with science and just destroy any theory that you have and back it up, which is good. But it is my goal at some point to have a piece of video that I can send over to Astronomy Live that he can't explain. I don't know how far away that's going to be, but we're going to try it. But seriously, I hope you can help me figure out what that is that we keep seeing UFO wise. It's been, what, 3 times now, I believe. I'll send you the link to all 3 of them. I'm not gonna lie, that is the one thing that bothers me about the whole moon missions and everything, is the fact that all of a sudden we just stopped. And, you know, humans, us being natural explorers, it's like you almost take it to the, you just keep going further. And obviously, we've gotten stuff to Mars and whatnot, but it just doesn't make sense to all of a sudden stop. Yeah, funding, dried up, but it's not like they couldn't get the funding back, over a couple year period or even through the 70s or 80s, to be able to go back to the moon. That is one thing that always bothered me about NASA. And everybody says, well, things between, wars going on, it was a race to the moon. But I would love it. I just wish that we would have kept our goals on the moon. And if we did, we might have human colonies up there by now. The way they were moving towards putting somebody on there. They were learning a lot of stuff, and you got to figure, man, 30 some years had passed since then. Imagine where we'd be if we kept going, if we were able to keep going. All right, here comes a satellite. I think slow mover, bottom rightish of the moon, heading to the up and to the left, I guess. Real faint, hard to see, small, and I believe that's a satellite of some kind. Should be showing up on YouTube here shortly. That had a funky little sway to it, but that might have been the atmospheric distortion messing with it, as it crossed over. But I believe that was a satellite. I don't have Stellarium open to check cross-reference the satellites, but I'll be able to do it tomorrow to find out for sure. Wouldn't surprise me if it was one of the Iridiums. Striving photos, yeah. Yeah, we'll probably be doing it. Once again, the full moon isn't the best for imaging the moon because there's no contrast, but we'll probably take a peek at it. And if you guys do want to see leftover Apollo stuff, they do have images on the LRO site, um, taken from the orbiter, where you can see the Apollo sites and whatnot. But then again, if you're the type of person that doesn't believe anything NASA does, then don't even bother. But if people actually want to see it, and and I believe the Chinese space agency also has images from their orbiter, showing the Apollo sites as well. And it's crazy Chinese or Japanese? I think it's Chinese, but their pictures are cataloged 10 times better than what NASA's are. Like NASA's are all over the place on different websites and everything, and China's is like straight up. It's like looking through a picture book. They did a really good job with it. So NASA could take a couple notes from over there and how to catalog everything. But yeah, you can see them at either one of those spots if you want to. Now is the time in the moon stream where I pander to the crowd and I see how many thumbs up we can get down below and to the left of the chat box. That's it. It's sitting at 83 now. Let's see how high we can get it. If you want. I'm not going to force you, though. All right, let's shout out the chat box. Let's see who we got here. Active users. I'm just going to run down the list real quick. AlphaGo, Astronomy Live, of course. Baladar, I believe that is. Salt Thrash, Dark Star, Deirdre, I think. Well, we call her D. Derek Hunt and Diego Martinez and Gez, or I hope it's not Jiz. I think it's Gez. Gez Finley. Jim Chess. My lady Jenny. Miko. John Kerrigan, Liam Wood, Loose Screws, Mink Velour, Nancy, Nick Yaya, Pankaj, Pat O'Donnell, Pete's Guitar Lessons. Anybody needs guitar lessons, shout out Pete in the chat box. Pointy Tail of Satan. Alrighty. Optimism at its best. R.A. Hoverding, Requiem, Mod of the Year Rockstar, of course. Ruben, Shaking Heaven, Sydney Rodriguez, Striving Photos, and Trance Ellertronic. That's who I have as active users in the chat. Hello to everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Feel free to debate and just keep it civil. And we can't forget about Giggle Time with Heidi Neal. Heidi is in the house as well. Came in late, but I'll forgive you this time. So once again, welcome everybody. Having a nice healthy debate and chat. Facebook visitor. That's the first time I ever saw that. Facebook visitor. That's weird. Okay. Hope everybody's having a good Friday night. Maybe sitting, kicking back, having some drinks. The moon is looking awesome tonight. It's just going to get better over the next couple days. Once again, I'm expecting Monday and Tuesday to be the prime time for zooming in on some of these craters. We're going to go in so deep on these craters, we're going to get them pregnant. Hopefully, weather permitting. Just realize that we are dealing with Florida. Pat O'Donnell, did you get the vid up from the craft last night? Yes, it is on the channel. I isolated that part and I threw a couple filters on it so you can check it out. It is there. Telescope from Earth, Facebook visitor. Yes, it is. I do not have the money yet to put a telescope in orbit. But we do have Astronomy Live here, and maybe we can get him to build us one? Should I start a GoFundMe? Anybody? No? Okay. I think we'll stick with the Earth-based telescope for now. But one thing I was thinking about, maybe in a year or two, I was thinking about maybe doing a get-together for the normal people of the chat. You know, anybody, pretty much anybody that wants to go when they open up the new telescope over in the UK. I believe that very inventive name, because the Very Large Telescope is in Hawaii. I think this one's going to be called the Extremely Large Telescope or something like that. But when that opens, I do want to plan a trip and see how many people we can get that actually got there and tour the facility and check it out. And I'll give you plenty of time if we decide to do that. You know, I'll give you like a year's warning. But just in case anybody would want to go, I think it would be a blast. Maybe people can just, save up for a year or, whatever you want to do, and try to make it like a package deal where we can go over there. I do have some contacts in Kentucky that might be able to make it happen, where we can all be together, stay in the same hotels and whatnot, and visit the extremely super large telescope over in England when it's finished. So that might be something for the future. Just so you know. And yes, the supermoon is on November 14th. And if you really want to see something awesome, that'll be a good night to like be up on a hill looking east when the moon comes up, because it is going to look absolutely huge when it comes up from the horizon. Besides that, once it gets above you, you know, in the sweet zone, like we like to call it, where you can image it and stuff, it'll just look like the regular moon. But when it's coming up over the horizon, it's going to look monstrous. That's just point of view, you know, scaling and all that stuff. That's all it is. But it still looks awesome. Also want to do a check-in tonight. Where is everybody from? We did this once before. I was amazed how many people from different parts of the world were around. So put it up in the chat. Where are you watching from? I know we have a lot of people in the Middle East, some South America, some UK, a lot from the US. I just, one of these things, this is just for me. This isn't really no point at all. I just like to see where everybody's from. So put in the chat where you guys are watching from. All right, we got Southeast Texas and Florida and Ireland, California, Dallas, Fort Worth, Los Angeles, Hungary from UK, Liverpool, I'm guessing that's Louisiana, Brazil, Illinois, Denmark, Scotland, UK again, Valencia, España, Toronto, Canada, Eastbourne, UK, that's got to be Giggle Time with Heidi Neal, Fargo, North Dakota, Egypt, Ohio, London, Columbus. Wow. We are literally representing the world. We got Poland, West Virginia, Illinois, Vegas, Indiana, Arkansas, Houston. Sheesh. Another London, India. Another London. Montreal. We are pretty much representing the world in this chat room right now. I haven't seen in Australia yet. Or China, but I think they're on a different internet. Not sure. Wow, Lithuania. Glasgow, Peterborough. Whew. Norway. We are literally all over the place. Good job, guys. Just goes to show you, the moon attracts people from all over the world. Wisconsin. God, I love Wisconsin. Another Texas and Toronto. And the East Coast of Canada. We have another one in the East Coast of Canada, Amanda Downey fan. I'm not sure if she's on right now. She's East Coast of Canada too. Alberta is in the house. Nice. District 9, South Africa. Amen. Cleveland, Ohio. Man, nobody from Chicago tonight, huh? So we can congratulate the Cubbies. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better Game 7. Jeez, you want to talk about a nail-biter. I'm glad they finally won, though. 108 years is a little long for a championship. But good job. If anybody is a Cubs fan, congratulations. Hell of a World Series. Awesome night. We were watching over on Bill's Skywatch. We jumped over just to see them go nuts in Chicago. It's amazing. We can zoom. There ain't no point in zooming at this point in time, though, because the moon is too low in the sky. It'll just be really wobbly and a lot of distortion because it's low in the horizon. You can shoot back in the video up to 4 hours if you want to see when we first started. It was higher up in the sky, and we were zooming in with the big scope. I really got to get Astronomy Live's info. Astronomy Live, can you send me a contact email address on the back end of the channel in a message? That way I can send you this stuff and we can figure out what this thing is. Well, attempt to figure out what this thing is that we keep catching. Either that or just get the info. If you're on Facebook, get the info from Dave. And we can do it that way too if you want. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for us tonight. The moon is going down, down, down. Awesome stream. Awesome people. Hope you all had a good night. We will be back at it tomorrow once again. Hopefully for a semi-late moon stream. It's going to be probably around the same time, 7:30ish. I'll probably go a little bit later than it did tonight because we'll have a little bit more time to work with. But thanks for everybody coming in, chiming in, keeping it civil. Once again, moderators, good job. Once again, Astronomy Live, hit me up on the back end of the channel and a message so I can get your info, so I can send you that stuff. To the mods, Lunatic, Jenny, Heidi, Rockstar, good job. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Yeah. So that'll be it for us tonight, guys. I'm not sure if there's any other moon watches or sky watches going on right now. It's a possibility there is. I haven't checked. I'm sure if there is, Heidi has it. Heidi will have it and be able to point you in that direction. But once again, that's it for us. Hope everybody has a great night, better day tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.